We gonna do a faceless reaction video. Yeah, you feel me? We on our.
I gotta stop comparing niggas to niggas, bro.
No, but that's what I was thinking too when I said
like
that.
That's the theft of joy. Theft of joy, thief of joy.
All right.
Like, I be telling niggas like, oh, yo, shit, like blah blah blah, blah or kind of like da 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 da, like blah blah blah.
And then other niggas that get mad,
Yeah, they like, what you mean? It's like da da da.
Nigga, I'm doing this shit like
myself.
myself. My shit. All right, bro.
Nigga, I'm doing my shit.
You got it, big bro.
It's me. Okay.
Nobody else did it but me.
My bad, bro. My bad. You got it.
On some Chris 6K shit. Fuck you talking about?
All
right, chat. Let's get into it. Boom!
Of work, and I did look at it eventually, and it completely changed the way that I look at the pyramids. He said the pyramids weren't built, they were unbuilt. And maybe all the missing evidence that we've been searching for, the ramps, the tools, the machinery, it's not missing at all. It's actually right in front of us, just misinterpreted. So I want to walk you through this theory today, but I'm not gonna lie, this email did take me down a very strange rabbit hole, because for all the theories and simulations and 4,000 years of research and speculation, we actually know very little about how these structures were built. We can't understand the pyramids without talking about time, because the pyramids are very.
Side note, but I feel like this video was filmed very well.
Oh yeah.
I'm already liking it so far. It's very you know what I'm saying? The hook got me. You feel me? I'm intrigued too, brother.
Very old. The cliche saying is that Cleopatra lived closer to the iPhone than she did to the construction of the pyramids. The ancient Romans would tour the pyramids like we tour the Colosseum today. And over that insane scale of time, things get blurry. But what we do know is that pyramids themselves were the endpoint of a massive architectural learning curve, each one taking about 10 to 15 years, and each one getting us closer to the Great Pyramid. 146 meters tall, 2.3 million blocks of stone. The base is almost a perfect square, off by mere centimeters, with a slope so razor precise, because even the slightest variation would mean a failure at the top. And the whole thing is...
I did not know Japan and China had pyramids. Also, this is probably some bro, I'm telling you, this is that time traveler shit that we be talking about. It really might be having to do with some conspiracy theorist shit that we really don't know about for real.
Oh.
aligned almost perfectly to true north, off by just 1/15 of a degree. And they did all of this without compasses or lasers or GPS. As far as we know, they used nothing but the stars. And if you scaled it to the size of the Earth, the height to base ratio would almost match the curvature of the planet. The latitude is the exact same number as the speed of light, and just 0.0002 degrees off from the pyramid's latitude is also this subway.
You see what I'm talking about, bro?
I've heard all that shit before. I forgot about it, but that's like the root of like why I was all skeptical.
Yeah, cause shit don't make no fucking sense. How the fuck is these
quote
damn niggas, dumb niggas doing all this shit and we don't know how they even built it?
4,000 years ago.
Like what?
No way, bro.
Nigga, make it make sense, bro. Shit don't make no
There's
goddamn sense.
There's something missing in the equation.
Like nigga, literally, bro.
Like if there were humans 5,000 years ago, you don't think maybe there were humans before that?
Nigga, that knew something we don't know.
You feel me? Like there is something missing from the fucking equation for these niggas to have all this mathematical fucking know-how, bro. Like this shit is just weird.
He said what you get taught is outdated. What's happened is the theories have since been updated since you went to school. Oh, y'all don't know how to build it. I do. Brilliant. I'm not hearing this shit, bro. For example, slaves never built the pyramids. They were highly skilled workers. They were highly respected with their own burial chambers. Wow.
They never taught us one fixed theory in school.
Yeah, they did.
At least for me,
didn't.
They told me that there were multiple theories, and I always kind of like.
No, but I did learn. I learned slaves built pyramids. I remember because they had them in that little where the rope was connected, and you know what I'm saying, when those type of slaves where they were carrying they were carrying shit on shoulders and shit. Yeah, that was the agenda that was pushed, but that makes no sense. That literally makes no sense, bro. Unless the nigga
The
was like,
other narrative, the popular one was aliens, but it was like,
yeah,
like, what the fuck?
What the fuck we're talking about?
Like,
yeah,
whatever we're talking about.
but
and
shit,
just let me know that there was like,
something
crazy background.
Yeah, bro. Anyway, she talking about subway. The latitude is also subway, and it's she said the light speed or something. I don't know. I learned a lot on my own. School wasn't for me, but it was easy.
In Louisiana, because
That's real shit, though.
a lot of things exist on that latitude. But you see, the pyramids seem so impossible, and our understanding is so limited that it's just the perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories. But it is worth remembering.
Wait, so we can't build the pyramid right now?
I mean, it would cost a lot of money.
No, but like, could niggas build one? Like, do niggas like know how to build it now?
They don't know exactly how to build it. Like, that's more so.
I can. It's one in Memphis. Bro, there's actually a pyramid in Memphis, bro. It gotta be fake, bro.
With the tools that they had to
That nigga said it's chrome.
With the tools that they had, no, we could have built a pyramid.
Oh, no. Yeah, no,
and
that's
even
impossible.
if we did today, like, think of how complex the inside of the pyramid is.
Yeah.
There's all types of different passageways.
That's true.
And traps and labyrinths.
That's true.
And fucking, like, pyramids are fucking complex.
With the tools they had, I mean, we could, but like no one could be bothered. It takes decades of work, thousands of people. Yeah. Golly.
And they had all these different fucking pyramids.
Bro,
like, it was a lot of work. You could say it was slave labor, but it's like, holy shit, who the fuck put all these niggas to work?
There's a theory that we're actually, like, niggas were smarter, like, we lost a lot of technology and we actually were advanced. You feel what I'm saying? And then we digressed. And then from that digression, whatever that Great Reset was, is where all the stories from, like, you know what I'm saying, like, the old cavemen and all that shit, like, humanity was restart or some shit. I don't know, though. I might just be saying some shit.
If any civilization could pull this off, it's probably the Egyptians. Every year, the Nile flooded, and it turned the valley into a surplus machine, with ridiculous amounts of grain, enough to feed tens of thousands.
This nigga said, the Great Reset he talks about is highly likely the last ice age, the Greater Dryas impact. It's what caused Noah's flood approximately 12,000 years ago. That's what I'm saying. And that's scientifically proven that the Earth was flooded at one point, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's a bunch of different, like, scriptures from different religions that all, like, have recountings of a great flood. Not the entire Earth, but, like, there was a great flood that was...
And they probably wiped out, if there were civilizations, it wiped out a lot of them. But cataclysmic floods. Would you be mad if I spoiled the show for you, bro?
What show?
Never mind.
Of people who weren't farming. Remember our video on the Romans? They got their grain from Egypt. And that kind of surplus meant Egypt had something incredibly rare in the ancient world. Time, labor, and stability for massive multi-year engineering projects. And they created incredible inventions like counterweighted lifting devices, mummification, star-aligned surveying tools, and one of the most accurate calendars on Earth, long before most civilizations could even...
And this is what I'm saying, like, what if this shit was like the whoever was learning this, like, what if a lot of this shit was passed down through, like, Egyptian, what's it called? Like, these niggas were the niggas that, like, there was a nigga that kept that information or something, and he survived this flood or something. I don't know. And he's the nigga that passed this shit down, and that's why they're the most advanced civilization during the restart.
Like,
you feel me?
Kinda that's their Noah. Like,
yeah,
Noah.
Exactly,
that,
and that Noah resided in Egypt. Yeah,
on some shit.
That's what I'm saying. It was around 4,000 years ago. Not even that old, relatively speaking. I flooded this motherfucker because the people was tripping. Pretty sure the Romans are older. I used to remember, but I got hit in the back of the head and forgot. Before Egyptians came, the Sumerians and ancient Sumer. Our oldest record of humans, Homo sapiens, is a site in Turkey called Göbekli Tepe.
Oh, yeah, that fucking... Bro, the architecture there is fucking ridiculous. Search it up.
Okay, wait, let's finish this and then let's get to Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. On top of that, you have a hyper-organized bureaucracy that tracked everything. We literally have a 4,500-year-old site manager's logbook, where this guy named Mirror documents how his crew boated the Tura limestone to the pyramid site. In fact, we have records for everything, like how they brought the stone, who they hired, and even the payroll. Everything except how they actually built the pyramids. Oh, by the way, they weren't built by slaves. Archaeologists found entire workers' districts at Giza with bakeries and workshops and medical teams, and even the tombs of the craftsmen. These were skilled labor crews, not an oppressed workforce. And despite keeping diligent records of all of this, when it comes to the construction drawings, it's kind of like they said, well, let's mess with those guys a little bit. Because maybe they knew that we were going to be arguing about this for centuries. There are a lot of theories about how these pyramids were built. Cranes, counterweights, kites, water elevators. But there's two big ones, ramps. In the classic one, the external ramp theory, workers drag the blocks up a huge ramp as the pyramid rises. It's very simple, in theory. To keep the slope gentle enough for normal humans, and not physical 100 athletes, the ramp would need to stretch around 2 kilometers. Anything shorter or steeper, people probably start dying on you. Well, things get a little challenging. By the time you've built a ramp that's safe to walk on, you've basically cost yourself more materials and labor just to build the thing that builds the thing. And the real killer is, there is zero archaeological evidence of a mile-long ramp ever existing or being torn down. And then there's a twist on this theory. A ramp spiraling around the pyramid, shorter, more compact, reusing the same slope over and over. But now you have a different problem. The faces of the pyramid are perfectly straight. Otherwise, the edges can't meet at the apex. But to keep it at this precise angle, the builders had to constantly check the edges. But with a fat ramp in the way, it's blocking all the corners that you need access to. So if the ramp isn't outside, maybe it's inside. In the 1980s, someone saw a fox entering the Great Pyramid near the base and somehow popping out hundreds of feet higher. That little fox inspired the French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin to propose a hybrid system. A short external ramp made of limestone for the very first third of the structure, which is then reused for the top part once it's done. Then a hidden ramp spiraling inside the structure. It very neatly explains this missing debris, and it even answers some of the mysteries around the Grand Gallery, which Houdin thinks was a giant counterweight system for hoisting the granite beams found in the king's chamber. It also explains why it's so tall and narrow, and lined with strange benches, and covered in scuff marks, as if something hard and heavy slid through it.
Hey, my nigga is a genius. He was really trying to figure that shit out. Cause nigga, nobody had 1980, bro. Them niggas weren't even trying, bro. Hold on, let me read this shit. Göbekli Tepe isn't that impressive architecture-wise. Ancient India had some of the most impressive. They carved temples out of solid rock. It'll blow your mind. Can do the same thing. Bro, these Unreal Engine level cut scenes are so fire. I feel like Assassin's Creed or some shit he did. Nah, keep watching. On God.
Over and over again. It's elegant. But then, in 2015, the pyramids got a giant CT scan. This is muontomography. Think of muons as high-energy particles from space that are constantly raining down on Earth. They pass through rock, but very dense areas slow them down. So if you put detectors inside and around the pyramid and wait long enough, you can build a 3D density map, kind of like a medical CT scan, and you can do all of this without touching a single stone. And in 2015, they found something crazy. A massive, unexplained void just above the Grand Gallery, which led to thousands of new theories overnight, but what they didn't find was a clean spiral running just under the surface. If a kilometer-long ramp was hiding there, let's say, you would expect at least a faint trace, but instead, the scan shows scattered voids. It doesn't necessarily kill the idea, but it strongly weakens the argument. And then most other pyramid construction theories are variations on these two. The thing about these theories is that most of them actually work until you reach the top. The apex is actually the hardest part of the whole structure, because even a tiny error at the base becomes a huge deviation at the top. The edges need to be perfectly straight, so you need full access to all four faces and lots of room to work. With an external ramp, you eventually have to remove it or drastically shrink the ramp right when you need it the most. With an internal ramp, the higher you get, you are losing the turning radius, the hauling space, and of course the ability to check the edges. When you look at pyramids in other cultures, you start to notice a lot of them dodge this issue with a flat top. Even Egyptian pyramids later lose their tips. This is why, according to this Egyptologist, although pyramids were made all over the world, only the Egyptian pyramids are considered a miracle of the world. In other words, this sharp apex actually is the rarest and hardest part to explain, and the key to the pyramid's construction. By the way, all of this background research and custom assets we created for this video, we decided to put it on a dedicated page. And we built the whole thing in Framer, who's also the sponsor of this video. Framer is a design tool that lets you iterate with precision and turn your design ideas into a live website with a single click. Each of the theories get their own section.
Bro, so, well, like, what is in the void? What is in the void?
Niggas can't find out, bro.
Niggas gotta put a little drill in there.
Niggas would fucking lose their mind if somebody drilled in the side of that. Niggas would lose their shit, bro.
You feel me?
But there are so many other interesting pieces of history that we had to include. All the live previews and interactive alignment tools made it
Nigga, what's really in here? Like,
niggas gonna be able to find it in the first.
No, but they might have really been thinking about that shit when they put it together.
What if there's something in there? It's just fucking 8-headed fucking monster.
Nigga, it could be a literal, what is it, Cerberus.
What if they sealed some shit in there?
Nigga, literally, bro, it could be sealed in there, bro.
Nigga said seven.
Massive spirals. Wait, it says there are apparently massive spiraling vertical pillars underneath the pyramid, like bigger than the pyramid itself.
What the fuck?
What?
I saw a diagram or some shit that like had some crazy shit underneath the pyramid. I was like, yo.
With rooms
some bullshit,
deep
but-
beneath the earth, rooms the size of multiple football pitches.
Yo.
What the fuck? These niggas, bro, nah, this is what I'm saying, bro. They had to
very easy for us to see results instantly. You can even animate the elements in full 3D without getting into code.
Bro, what if the earth, like, nigga, the reason why, bro, what if they built pyramids on top of civilizations?
That's crazy. I don't see why they would do that, but nigga, that's crazy.
Like, and then they put that sealed area could be like the old kings or something.
That would be some wicked shit.
You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, I think that makes sense, bro. Because why else are they building these pyramids? Like, maybe to honor the past or something? And, like, these big-ass, like, things underneath. Like, what is this, bro? Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense, bro.
Tombs, I think.
I know that's what I'm saying. So, like, maybe it was tombs of the dead. Like, a lot of dead people, bro.
But, like, some of them weren't used as tombs. Like, some of them have no evidence of, like, a tomb room or, like, the typical, like, shit that you would put inside of a pyramid to commemorate somebody. Like,
Yeah. Like, what? This nigga, like, what if, bro? He said, what if nuclear war is a historic event?
Yeah, that would be some crazy
What
shit.
if that caused the Ice Age?
Dang.
Nigga, reset time. Restarted the earth, bro. Damn.
Everything works through simple transform controls inside Framer. Framer
Why am I
also
still
on
watching this
theme,
ad, bro?
and we didn't know how it can adapt time. Discount years ago, which actually kickstarted my obsession with the pyramids. His name is Huni Choi, and he's not an architect, not an Egyptologist, just someone who spent 10 years obsessively modeling every measurable stone at Giza, like thousands of blocks, hand placed in 3D. And at first, I thought it was a little bit, feels a little conspiracy theory. But then I did read the research, and I realized he wasn't trying to solve the pyramid. He was trying to solve the system that produces a pyramid. He says the Great Pyramid wasn't built on its own, but through a chain of sacrificial structures that are designed to be cannibalized. Let me explain. Before the Great Pyramids was a natural limestone outcrop.
Oh, okay. Pro Evil said nukes aren't powerful enough to cause cataclysmic events like that. Maybe humanity reaches this point after so many years. Nukes are tiny on a planetary scales. The only thing you could do is drop a nuke into something like Yellowstone. If that bitch erupts, everyone is dead.
The only shit that would be cataclysmic is like nuclear, doomsday, like how people talk about the situation where, like, if there's so many nuclear countries that have allies and proxies and shit like that, then one person launches a nuke and the entire fucking world launches nukes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
But the world isn't that stupid, we would assume.
But like, what if there was like stronger weapons back then? If this really was a more technologically advanced
think of
society.
How young our society is, like the industrial society, and explosive weapons and all this shit, like recent war. Think another 1,000 years in advance. Like what type of fucking?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there might be a scientific cap on like what we can do, firepower wise, but theoretically we could have some crazy shit.
Some weapon that could literally destroy damn near the whole Earth if it's used.
Largest nuke ever made has a blast radius of about 40 miles max.
On a planetary scale. Yeah, that is small.
Yeah, on a planetary scale, yeah. Shit.
But I'm thinking like, you know
on
what I'm
a nuclear fallout scale though. And like, we're not just talking about one nuke. We talking about niggas dropping shit around the world. We talking about every country in this bitch. Like, okay, we riding for so and so. We riding for so and so. Like, you seen the big ass diagram, motherfucking.
Yeah.
Nukes crossing and shit.
Bro, this shit is crazy. What was it tasting of? Tayshawn, bro, I don't know if you know what anime this shit make me think of, but nigga, if you know, bro, you know exactly what I'm talking about, brother.
Talk about the SAR bomb.
The SAR bomb, 50 million airburst nuke, biggest ever made. Okay. Actually, technically, there was a bigger bomb, SAR bomb, but never detonated.
With small hills. Most of the core blocks for Khufu's pyramid was carried directly from this plateau, with finer casing limestone brought from Tura and granite from Aswan. And they really used this landscape to their advantage. First, they identified the high points, shaved them, and terraced them, turning the hill into a working platform. Then you overbuild. Instead of starting with a pyramid shape, you create a rough, gigantic trapezoidal step mass with an integrated ramp system. And once the ramp reaches its full height, you start carving it down into the final pyramid shape. Remember the apex problem? Even the tiniest error at the base explode into huge deviations at the top. But if you work downward from a wide, stable platform, it's much easier to retain this precise angle. The shape is actually super important here. If we were to apply the system to a pyramid shape, the ramp would get steeper and higher as you go up, creating another death slide for the workers. But a trapezoid spreads outward at the top, and it gives you this workable 7-degree ramp all the way up. A flat, safe working deck around the apex, and full visibility of all 4 edges as you carve the final geometry. Instead of fighting the pyramid shape, you delay it until the very end. Once you carve down the step mass, the extra limestone is then reused for the other pyramids. The Great Pyramid is roughly 6 million tons.
That's crazy.
Nigga, this might be it right here.
What the fuck is it?
No, real shit though.
Trapezoids was the fucking answer.
Like niggas is literally idiots, bro. If nobody thought about this, bro, it's been years, bro.
Cause you don't make a fucking sculpture, you carve it from a fucking
That's
rock.
what I'm saying, bro. Niggas is fucking slow, bro.
Point.
Choice model estimates
Like the way that it looks, bro, like
if it's so complex, then why would we just build it from the ground up?
Nigga, carve that bitch
out of the fucking.
That shit just kind of made me mad, bro.
My dad be saying humans are stupid as fuck, and this is like a perfect example.
Yeah, like nigga,
like we be thinking we know some shit, and all the time
niggas don't know shit, bro. Niggas don't know.
The initial step mass to be around 8 million tons. Carving that down gives you roughly 2 million tons of reusable stone. This gets split between the working mass for Khafre's pyramid and into the other annex buildings. Then this process is repeated for the other pyramids, each one going through the same recursive construction loop. Once you add all of the stone that moves through this loop, you get around 14 million tons circulating through the system, with roughly 1 million tons left over, which weirdly lines up with the mainstream volume estimates for the entire Giza complex. What's interesting about this theory is that it treats the entire plateau as a single construction engine and a closed-loop system, and it actually matches Egyptian behavior. Because the Egyptians were really into recycling. They turned broken boats into furniture, broken furniture became small objects, and later dynasties literally mined old pyramids for new buildings. So a cannibalizing system for the pyramids kind of feels like a very Egyptian thing to do. And the idea of shaping the earth into ramps, that's not new either. Before the crane, which was invented by the Greeks in the 6th century BC, the landscape was the machinery. The dolmens, the karnaks, and the early temples, they all shaped the earth into construction engines to build structures that feel impossible. And most importantly, this system explains one of the biggest flaws of the external ramp theory: the missing debris. The ramps weren't lost through time, they were repurposed. But this led me to another very unpleasant thought. See, most theories fail not because we find something wrong, it fails because we find nothing. The massive external ramp? No debris. The internal spiral ramp? No signs of a continuous spiral. The water shaft theory? No canals, no cuttings, no retaining walls. And this way of disproving based on negative evidence totally makes sense from a proper archaeological point of view. But what if that evidence didn't disappear through time, but by design? Maybe for them, a sacred form should not have any trace of a human builder. Maybe they always recycle the construction evidence. Maybe they always restore the site to purity, removed every mark and trace that could give away the construction method. It also means that the absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence. But sometimes an architectural detail can reveal the construction method, even if they try to hide it. This YouTuber, History for Granite, went through an insane journey to catalog around 6,000 surviving casing stones across 3 sides of Khafre's pyramid. And he found a pattern: tiny, tapered stones forming vertical streams on each facade, which he calls bonding stones. A more common masonry term is keying stones, which are essentially smaller, special pieces of stone that can slide down to stitch 2 masonry runs together. And it actually reveals a lot. First, different sections were laid simultaneously by different crews for efficiency, and then stitched together. Second, since there's no bonding stones at the centers or the corners, these weren't ending lines, they were starting lines. The last and most importantly, all 3 faces show the exact same pattern. This is pretty important because if there was a giant external ramp attached to the structure, you would probably see hotspots of bonding stones around the working edge. It doesn't prove any single theory, but it strongly suggests that the casing had to be carefully stitched together from multiple directions, and the crews likely had a wide, stable working deck around a clean, unobstructed pyramid core. Again, this is not proof of any one theory, but maybe it can disprove some theories. So, how do we know for sure? Like, how does a theory become proof?
Bro, but you know what, niggas just get smarter because like a YouTuber came up with that theory, bro. off of no, like, nigga, he didn't have no, what's a degree in this shit,
There
bro. He was just...
niggas with multiple fucking degrees in archaeology.
Literally trying to study this shit and don't understand it, nigga. And this nigga was just like, you know what? Maybe they just built these ramps like this, nigga. Trapezoids. At this degree, and they probably built it like that. Like, what, bro?
Mr. Wizard, but it's a real power plant and will generate electricity. When I move the gas flame under the flask, the water inside will be heated to boiling.
In math or hard science, proof is pretty absolute. You run the experiment, anyone can repeat it, and if the result holds, then it's true, until someone disproves it. But with archaeology, well, you can't really build the Great Pyramid as a lab experiment. So instead, a theory can get stronger if it first predicts what we should find, and then on ground, those predictions match the real traces, and different kinds of evidence all start making sense under that same explanation. And even then, other experts will try to break it. With the pyramids, it's even harder because we're missing the entire construction phase, and we can't dismantle Khufu, and multiple methods could produce the exact same final shape. So it's less, this is absolutely true, and it's more, for now, this is the least wrong answer. And after months and months of digging into this, for a brief second, I also wondered, could it have been the aliens? And I think there's a tiny part of me that kind of wanted to believe it, because it really hurts to think that we might never know the answer. But I know that that's just my cognitive closure talking, because our brains hate gaps in information. But maybe that's the whole point. In a world where we can Google almost anything, the pyramids are one of the last things we can't force into clarity. And maybe if we understood them perfectly, they would lose the thing that makes them kind of extraordinary.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a great video. Shout out to her, bro. I really enjoyed that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nigga, they said I gotta watch another one. I'm trying to see who
demons ain't no invitation. When I lose my shit, it's not cool, bad situation. Why am I wearing all these faces? In my truth, I'm a bad man, can't keep up with the evasion. Gotta stand on business and stay solo. Still praying for the days where the niggas ask for photos. In my head, am I the problem? Bad thoughts, yeah, I caught them. Bloody fists, yeah, I fought them. Road to riches, I'm on the bottom. So do I take my time and just fight my temptation? Or do I let go all my problems? Can I say salutation?